desire does not usually arrive as a speech. It arrives as surveillance, irritation, mimicry, and sudden swings between moving closer and pulling away. Call Me by Your Name, from 2017, is unusually precise about that early stage. Elio is 17, spending summer 1983 with his academic parents in northern Italy. Oliver is an older American graduate student, staying in their home as a temporary research assistant. What makes the romance feel so intense is not just chemistry. It is the environment. A high-contact, low-structure household, with meals, chores, bike rides, swims, and constant casual observation. That kind of container changes behavior. You get repeated exposure, and you get interpretive ambiguity. People can keep asking, what did that mean, without forcing a contract. No labels, no timelines, no clear boundaries. The result is a relationship that can escalate fast because it postpones the adult questions. One of the most realistic choices is how Elio's attraction shows up before he admits it. He monitors Oliver's small cues. He becomes competitive and jealous. He acts annoyed, even contemptuous. Then he seeks proximity again. That approach and avoidance cycling is a familiar pattern when the stakes feel high, especially for a reflective teenager trying to protect his self-image while also chasing clarity. Oliver's side of the dance is also recognizable and risk-managed. He flirts, but keeps plausible deniability. He is responsive, then he withdraws. He defers with later, controlling the pace of explicitness. When direct speech feels unsafe, indirect signaling becomes a tool. Looks, pauses, coded phrases, and tiny shifts in physical distance can do the work of a confession, while still leaving a retreat route. There is a real insight here for writers and educators. Signals are not contracts. A signal tests the water, a contract changes the rules. The film shows how two people can coordinate escalation through ambiguity when the social cost of clarity feels high. But that same elegance is where the realism audit gets tense. The story often asks you to treat mutual desire as the main behavioral fact. Yet desire is not the same thing as consent symmetry. Elio is 17, in his parents' home, still organizing identity. Oliver is older, more experienced, and structurally safer. He has mobility and an end date. He can leave, regardless of the emotional consequences. A common real-world failure mode is the symmetry shortcut. People infer equal power from equal attraction. Even when the younger partner initiates, the older partner usually carries more responsibility, more pacing, more clarity, more aftercare. Not because everyone behaves responsibly, but because asymmetry reliably raises risk of confusion, regret, and messy self-interpretation later. The film shows Oliver's restraint, yet often keeps his reasons behaviorally thin. His hesitation reads as mystery, not as a visible decision tree. In a situation like this, an older partner is usually weighing multiple constraints at once. Attraction, yes. Also reputational and professional risk, as a guest in a colleague's home. Also the younger person's later welfare. And identity management pressures that can push secrecy and vigilance. Strategic ambiguity can be protective. It can also slide into responsibility diffusion, where the younger partner's initiative carries the moral weight. Another realism pressure point is Marzia, the parallel bond. Elio dates her and sleeps with her, while his desire for Oliver intensifies. That displacement is plausible in adolescence, especially under concealment pressure. The film acknowledges her injury and gives her a clear confrontation. What feels compressed is the repair bandwidth afterward. In a small summer town, with overlapping circles, endings tend to have a longer tail. Awkward continued contact, social ripple effects, attempts to explain what happened, even if badly. Then there is the famous name exchange, the call me by your name moment. As a state, it is believable. High arousal can soften boundaries between self and other. Those fusion moments often become vivid memories, stored with intense sensory detail. The risk is what the scene can imply emotionally. Fusion can feel like truth, and viewers may read it as compatibility or as a stable claim. Yet in real relationships, fusion is common in bonds that later fracture. Passion and felt intimacy do not automatically produce commitment, especially in a relationship built inside transience and secrecy. That leads to the ending, and what the film gets deeply right. A short-lived relationship can still form durable attachment. Grief is not proportional to duration, It is proportional to meaning, intensity, and the way the bond reorganizes your self-story. After separation, the mind does not only feel sad. It replays, it relives, it gets ambushed by cues, by places, objects, music, food.